Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of Crowned and Confident with the Sophia Project. I'm your host, Precious Berry, and today we're kicking things off with an inspiring conversation in our fourth episode. I am thrilled to introduce our special guest, Judge Carla Hughes, with 19 years of legal expertise under her belt. Judge Hughes has made an incredible mark in the fields of family law, estate planning, corporate traffic law, handling everything from minor traffic cases to multi-million-dollar transactions. Wow. Notably, she has played a pivotal role in a $62 million acquisition deal that earned accolades, and she has also been instrumental in launching a charter school in St. Louis City. Beyond her legal powers, Judge Carla is deeply committed to community service, a proud member of the St. Louis Metropolitan Alumni Chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She also serves on the board of Robert Fulton Development Corporation and actively contributes at Friendly Temple Missionary Baptist Church. Her achievements even earned her a spot at the St. Louis Top 30 Under 30 in 2007. And let's not forget, she's an also devoted wife and nurturing mother. Judge Carla, welcome to the Sophia Project, Crowned and Confident. I'm super excited to dive into our conversation today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Yes, just oh my goodness, that extensive bio that I read. So many accolades, so many achievements, leadership. Can you briefly tell me about your personal journey and how you got to where you are today?
Well, I give it all to God for getting me this far because it has
Amen.
definitely been a journey and has not been without its challenges. But I, grew up here in St. Louis. I have been here my entire life. I went to Hazelwood East for high school, since that's always the question that everyone in St. Louis wants to know. And I went to Tennessee State University in Nashville, Tennessee for undergrad. I actually majored in accounting, and which I still have a very strong love for numbers. And then once I graduated from Tennessee State, I went to St. Louis University for law school. And so that's been sort of like my academic journey. I started off as a mergers and acquisitions attorney. I work at one of the larger law firms here in St. Louis called Armstrong Teasdale, which is currently in Clayton. When I worked there, they were downtown. And I worked there for 5 years, and then I went out on my own in 2009 is when I started my own law practice because I really wanted to be closer to my people and feeling like I really had an impact on things that mattered on an everyday basis. And so when I started my law firm, I decided to do more family related matters. And so I focus on family law, which includes custody cases, dissolutions of marriage, adoptions, name changes. I do estate planning, which also includes wills and trusts, just trying to make sure that as a community, we have our affairs in place. So through our lifetime and even after we leave to make sure that our families are taken care of. Of course, I handle traffic because we're always on the road and we want to make sure that individuals can drive safely, and getting pulled over is inevitable. But to know
Yeah.
that you're going to get pulled over and not have any concerns of a warrant or your license being suspended or extra tickets for no insurance is really helpful. And so I try to make sure people are educated. I really am just the people's attorney, just making sure that people
Yeah.
can go through their day-to-day lives without any stress, as far as the legal matters are concerned.
So you believe that that was that shift from being or wanting having an inspiration in accounting to being in law?
We just wanted to make sure people knew about everything that was going to affect them. And so I thought I was going to become a, a corporate lawyer that focused on people's finances as well as their business matters. That's what my intent was for going to law school. But things kind of changed over time.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Past lawyers and professors, they say if this is your passion, you will be able to conquer through it and persevere through it. So in law school, it's not a joke, it's not easy and it's a process. Yeah.
yeah, it just kind of requires you to kind of hunker down. I mean, you have to have a lot of discipline, a lot of tenacity. It's a very self-regulated field, and so you kind of have to be self-disciplined to study and keep up with your work, because what's interesting is
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people understand this, that when you're in law school, you only take one test for each class at the end of the semester. And so all of the information that you've learned throughout 16 weeks of school is on one test. And so that can be a bit difficult because it does require you to retain all of that information and figure out how to apply it when the test comes. So
Yeah. That's amazing. What are some pivotal moments or challenges that has shaped you into the leader that you are today?
So I'm completely honest. Law school was a challenge for me. Going from high school, graduating at the top of my class, I wasn't valedictorian, but I was, and then you go to college and you do well there, and then you get to law school, and everyone that's in law school is at the top of their class, and everyone has done well. And I did not do well my first year in law school. I mean, I can be very transparent about that. And so that was a very humbling experience to now be at a situation that was more challenging than anything I'd ever dealt with. But at the end of the day, I was in law school for a reason and I had to push through. And so, you get knocked down sometimes all the way to the bottom to realize that God will help you pull yourself back up.
That is
And then and prepare you for any trials that are going to come throughout life because it's going to happen. And how are you going to deal with it when it comes? Are you just going to fold? Are you just going to quit and walk away from the situation? Or are you going to figure out a way to make it work and push through until you get to the end, your end goal?
that's some real true pieces of advice. Yes. Did you have any like mentors along the way that has shaped you into who you are?
Absolutely. I mean, my mom is a true inspiration. And so she is my role model. She is my mentor. I think my ability to push through hard times definitely stems from my upbringing with her. As far as when I was in law school, I had several more esteemed lawyers that poured into me to make sure that I understood how to go through law school and understand what that process was like. And, you always need somebody that you can vent to, right?
Yeah.
And so not only were they a sounding board, but then they also gave me experience. And so I could work with them as I was going through to really understand
Yeah.
what it's like to practice law. It's one thing
Yeah.
to study it, but to actually get into that field and see what it's like. And so I've had several lawyers along the way that have just poured into me as a young lawyer. Even to this day, I can still call whenever I have questions or concerns about how to handle different matters. They're still instrumental in my practice. Say the Black legal community really tries to work together to make sure that younger lawyers can make their way through the journey and be there for one another.
In the Black legal community, is there a lot of Black female lawyers?
So, no, not really. There aren't a lot of Black lawyers, period. And so
Right.
then Black female lawyers is probably the smallest number of lawyers that
Mm,
exist, at least in the St. Louis community. So we as Black women really try to stick together because we know it's harder for
yeah.
us to get into the field. It's harder for us to be respected when we go to different forms, whether it is in a business or whether it is in a law firm or even when we go to court. It's always interesting to me that when I go to this administration or even the judges will first assume that I'm there as a defendant and not as a lawyer. And so that can be a very humbling experience. And you can't take it personal because that's just what they're used to seeing. There just aren't a
Very
lot of us that.
stereotypical.
Yes, it is. But you just have to, exert yourself, say who you are and why you're there and that you deserve to be there. And so, once realize that you're an attorney, then they don't treat you any differently. But it is a shell shock sometimes, even to this day when we're doing our thing.
Yeah. That is true. My next question I wanted to ask you is, do you have any advice or would you love to pour any advice into any young women who are trying to seek mentors?
Yeah, I just would, continue to ask. I mean, we're always willing to help as more seasoned professionals, right? And we're willing to help you navigate your journey as you're getting to your respective professions. And so just ask. I think sometimes we're just afraid to even see if someone's willing to talk to us. I have people that will call me all the time that are either thinking about going to law school or currently in law school, and they were so afraid to make the initial step to converse with
Yeah.
me. Just call me. We all have jobs, we all have responsibilities,
Yeah.
but just call. If I don't answer, I promise I'll call you back. And so
Yeah.
sometimes people feel like we're too busy to talk, and that's not really the case. And so just reach out to us. We're happy to help. And then once you get into your respectful field, just understand your worth. And know that
Yes.
you have put in the same work, you have learned the same material, you've received the same degree as our counterparts, and so you are deserving to be in whatever space you are in, and to just always be confident in knowing that.
Yeah, and also you are worthy. I feel that in this time right now, we are constantly reminded on pouring into our young women specifically because we need to let them know that you can be whatever you want to be, long as you put in that work, long as you put in that time and dedication to persevere and also get that education. You know, education can open up so many doors and to
Yes.
your future. And that is something that I'm also learning too in college. I know sometimes college can be very hard, but I'm always constantly reminded, like, Precious, if you just get through it, if you just get through the 4 years, God will open up so many doors for you, and He won't let you go through doors that is not meant for you. So
Right.
that is the mindset that I have to have.
To remember the long game. It's the long game. We live in a society now where everybody wants things done quickly, and
Yes,
some things just take time. And you have to think about what's going to happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now, instead of what you want tomorrow.
right.
That can be tough, but that's really important to just think about your long-term future
Hmm.
and not what you just want to happen tomorrow.
That is true. What does empowerment mean to you professionally and also personally in your life?
Well, what empowerment means to me is confidence. What it also means that you can do anything that you put your mindset to. If, like you said earlier, if it's for you, and if God has already predetermined that that's what your life is going to be, then it will
Yeah,
be. It may take, a different route. It may
yeah,
take a little longer than you may like, but you just have to be motivated to continue to push through. Pray about your situation, make sure that your will is in alignment with the Lord's, and that will empower you. That will give you the strength that you need to make it through to whatever goal you're trying to achieve.
that's good. Having faith and, also hope. That is also very essential. Your work extends outside of the courtroom. I saw in your bio you created a charter school.
Yes.
Can you
Well,
speak about
I'm
that?
working with a creative,
Okay.
so I don't want
Yeah.
to take 100% credit for that.
Okay.
So Friendly Temple Church, which is where I am their general counsel, and they
Hmm.
are opening up a charter school that is supposed to start in the fall of 2025, called Friendly Academy. And we are in the process of trying to we've been approved by the state, and we are moving forward. It is exciting to think about starting a charter school. It's going to include just 2 grades initially. We're going to do kindergarten and first grade. The school is located on Kings Highway. Yeah, it's been fun.
That's amazing.
Yes. And we're hoping to add on a grade each year till we get to 5th grade. So, yeah.
Yeah, I in a class right now, Introductions to Contradictions in Education. I'm learning about charter schools. I've actually been learning I didn't know a lot about charter schools till I got to this class. So we're learning a lot about Bud. I don't know if you know who Bud is, but he was one of the creators of starting a charter school and just seeing his process on why charter schools were necessarily giving teachers and students and the community the freedom of learning education through a different
Sure.
way through public schools. So charter schools are very interesting to me because they're totally ran differently, but they're similar into the goals of education, but they're totally ran differently. So I would love to just check that out more and hear more about it. And yeah, that just seems like an amazing opportunity for
Yes, it
St.
is
Louis.
going to be a great opportunity, like I said, an alternative to, especially being in the city,
Yes.
giving people an option of where else they can send their children and feel like they're going to get quality education. And even just, something that is going to be one-on-one because we're starting small, right? And so sometimes
Right.
that's what people need is to feel like they're going to be in a small environment where they can really be involved in the process. That was one of the harder things for me. I have a 6-year-old, and, to go from his preschool where you were very involved to now he's in a big public school and you don't get all that one-on-one involvement with the teachers in
Right.
the classroom. But this school will allow that to happen at such very pivotal ages for children. And I
Hmm.
think that is key. And it's something that parents want, and it's something that parents need to feel like they can still stay connected to their children as they're starting their educational journey. So it's
Right.
it's going to be a really good opportunity for people to get involved on the ground level because it's just going to grow over the next few years as we continue to add on grades. And who knows what God has in the future. We may have middle school, high school, maybe a college, who knows? So we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes, but it's going to be great. It's really going to be a great experience. We've got a wonderful head of school who is, passionate about the kids and education. So it's going to be great.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Like speaking about education, what impact do you have on the next generation, or do you want to have on the next generation of young people?
So, like I said, I taught for 13 years at Harrisville State University. So I was in the classroom every day, really trying to motivate children, not which motivate my students to do well, to seek their education. And for me, it was also very personal. So it was outside of just the education, just helping them grow and develop as young men and young women. And so I try to stay connected to the youth as much as I possibly can to make sure that they don't have to go through some of the same struggles that we did, right? You always help the next generation do better. And so
Yes.
I try to just stay connected to young people in some format. With my sorority, I was a mentor for our signature program, which is the rites of passage that helps high school seniors, females, transition into womanhood as they prepare to go off to college, and they learn all of these wonderful things about who they are as Black women. They learn about etiquette. They learn about different professions that they can look into going into as they go to college. They help them learn or earn scholarships so they have money to go to college. And they also build this network. And so that's also something that's important,
Yeah.
is to start creating a network of individuals that you're gonna go through life with. People of
Yeah.
your own age and people that are older. And as you decide, oh, I'm gonna be a teacher, or I want to be an accountant, or I want to be a doctor. You're already meeting those individuals now that can tell you what it's like to actually be in those roles and to help you navigate everything that's going to be necessary to get there. And so it's a great program that I like to be involved with, just to make sure that we're bringing people with us as we continue to climb the ladders.
Do you have any leaders that you look up to? I know you spoke about your mother earlier, but like any famous leaders? I know mine is Shirley Chisholm. I live by her quote, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. Is there any aspirations that you had as growing up into who you are today?
Of course, there's going to be famous leaders that we all look up to, and I could really rattle off a lot of them. But honestly, my leaders are the people that I see every single day in the trenches, and so I just really prefer to give my flowers to my mother. I prefer to give my flowers to my aunts and the women that I've seen pour
Yeah,
into me. I've seen work and climb their way up the ladder. And not to take anything away from anyone, because if they hadn't done the things that they've done, then we wouldn't be where we are today.
correct.
But to see people that are dealing with everyday struggles and the everyday hardships and still persevere and still overcome and then still do great things, those are the leaders to me, and those are the ones that are really impacting my life, because it touches me more on a day-to-day basis. So
It's amazing. Before we get into our last question with rapid fire questions, I wanted to ask you, what does being honored in March with the Little Black Dress Bruncheon mean to you through the Sophia Project?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, I tend to live in my own little cocoon, right? But it is nice to feel like my impact is not going in vain, or my work has not been in vain. To know that people actually see what I'm trying to do every single day, and that what I'm doing actually matters, and that it's helping a community. And so it's just to be seen. I'm not really a person that requires a lot of accolades and, a lot of congratulatory type of things, but it is, every now and then it's nice
Yeah.
for someone to recognize you. So I'm very appreciative of that, because sometimes I feel like I'm just in my own little world
Yeah.
trying to do the whatever I can on a small scale. But for someone to recognize it and feel like what I've done is noteworthy, or deserves to be awarded, that is very humbling to me. It allows me to keep doing what I'm doing. It makes me feel good that I am doing something that matters in the community, because that's really what's important.
That's amazing. That's good. I love that. You just spoke to me with that one. Yes, I think I told someone the episode before this one that when we getting our awards, I always think about the process of how I got to where I am more than just the award itself. I think that is the most humbling thing to me. I'm also an activist in St. Louis, and I tell people St. Louis is worth saving. Like, there's so much, potential to St. Louis, but it's all about us coming together, working in solidarity to make that shift and to be that catalyst for our community. And if we can reach that, where can we go within the city? And what goals could we reach? And how can we make an impact on not just ourselves, but then the younger generation? So once we get tired and we, get older, we can be able to pass that down to young folks in the community. So that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to always remember, there's room for everybody at the top. And I
Yes.
really just would like that to resonate with people to not feel as if it's only room for one person. There's so much work to be done. There's so much good that needs to happen that if we all work together, we bring each other up, then we can do more instead of feeling like it's only me that can be up here. No, I want everybody. I need a whole group of people to get things done. So just
Yeah.
to remember that there's room for everybody at the top.
Yes, I love that. Okay, let's hop into our rapid fire questions. It's going to be like 5 quick questions. So, like, you
Okay?
can answer it however you want. All right,
Okay.
you ready?
Yes.
Morning or night person?
Night.
Okay. Dream vacation spot.
Anywhere with a beach.
Everyone says that. Favorite movie?
Pretty Woman.
Favorite song?
Favorite song is gonna be anything by Mary J. Blige.
Are you going to her concert coming up?
Excited. I have seen Mary J. Blige in concert probably 5 times, and it is always phenomenal.
Yeah.
If I can remember, I always remember things. Unfortunately, these days at the last minute. So see if I can remember in enough time to purchase a ticket and find a sitter for my children.
Yes. She's known for their signature walk. So,
Yes, yes, I have it down pat. I actually sang one of her songs in a talent show in high school.
oh, yes, you are a true fan. True
Yeah.
fan. Yeah. So, would she be your favorite artist?
She is my favorite artist. Yes.
If you were to visit anywhere in this world, where would it be? Anywhere.
Anywhere that I haven't been, I've been to a lot of places. I'm still trying to I want to go to Africa at some point.
Oh yeah, you should go. I went to Senegal last
Very
semester, last
nice.
school year in the summer. Yes, West Africa. It was experience, my first time ever traveling out the country.
Okay.
So everything for me was a learning experience in building those soft skills. So I definitely
Very
encourage you
nice.
to go to Africa. It's a great experience to go back to the motherland.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely on my list. I've traveled to a lot of places, but not there yet. So I've got to figure out how to get there.
Yeah, perfect. So this wraps up our show. I wanted to say thank you for coming on, Judge Hughes. You have been an amazing person in the community, outside of the courtroom. You're everywhere. You're everywhere. And I want to say keep continuing to shine and be the impact in your community. And we thank you for coming on Crown and Confident.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you again for the award. I am looking forward to attending the event next month.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
You too.